everyone, and welcome back, and welcome to the top 10 reasons why you should buy a Katana Air. They're awesome little amps, but that's beside the point. Number one, perfect bedroom amp. Everybody's looking for the perfect bedroom amp. Now, I'm not going to say it's 100% perfect, because I don't even like the word perfect. However, when you're looking for an amplifier that has built-in effects for you, it's not going to piss off your parents or your spouse or maybe the tenants that live next door to you if you're in an apartment. This is definitely would be considered one of the more perfect amps in that sense, because you're going to get a complete package that is phenomenal compared to buying even a smaller amp that may still be a good, suitable, better amp, but lack the ability to do the things that the Katana actually does. So you do get a lot of bang for your buck here, okay, a lot. Number two, 30 watts of stereo sound. Try finding that in even a cheaper amp. Kind of hard to come by, you know. There's two 3-inch speakers. Boss calls them special speakers. Okay, so it's kind of like, all right, well, whatever. Two 3-inch speakers, stereo sound, I'm in. And it does sound quite nice. Number three, all 50 plus Boss pedal effects. So you have a huge selection of effects that you can set up in this amp, okay? And it's just crazy. And the effects for manipulating them, it's all in real time on screen. You can hear what you're doing as you do it. The nice thing about the onboard stuff as opposed to, say, even an external pedal is you actually know the exact percentage of the effect that you're actually doing, okay? So as you manually turn the dial on the amp, which you can do it that way, or you can just run your finger on the screen, or I actually have a mouse hooked up to my iPad, so I can just click on whatever area I want to manipulate and just click, hold, and change to where I want it. It's actually a lot easier from the dial, though, to do it that way. More precision, too. So you do have that, and you can arrange a pedal chain in 3 different configurations. So whatever chain you put effects in affects the sound. Even if they're all just the same pedals, you swap around the order, it changes your sound as you go. So anyways, it's a make it or break it deal trying to make a patch, right? You have to have that right chain. Now, Boss does only limit us to 3 chains on the Katana Air. The new Katana main amps now have 4 chains. I think we should be able to have like whatever we want personally, but hey, maybe in time. We'll see what happens there. Okay, so getting out of the chain select area. Comes with, runs on batteries or AC power. Now it does come with AC power brick, okay, which is fantastic. You're getting full power. You're getting that 30 watts of mayhem at your disposal, and this thing can get extremely loud and still stay really clean too, which is quite amazing because most amps will actually break up like mad. This thing stays clean really well, so it's got a lot of headroom there before it does decide to break up. But anyways, you do sacrifice, though, on batteries, 10 watts of power. You will lose 10 watts, which is not a big thing. I mean, even, like, I've run 10-watt amplifiers in here that are amazingly loud. Okay, so for a loss of 10 watts, it's not a big deal. However, you will lose that because of battery power. Batteries don't have the stability of a power supply brick. Okay, nor do they have the amperage of a power supply brick. So you do get that, but the batteries allow you to go fully portable. Now you can run alkaline batteries, so I would only recommend Energizer or Duracell because they have the highest milliamp rating of alkaline batteries, and they are quality, okay? So you are going to get the maximum run time as well. Now you can also use rechargeable batteries in this thing. Now it is AA batteries, so they're not that expensive either way. But when you use rechargeables, recommend get high quality ones, because you want that longevity, you want quality batteries, you want high milliamp output from those rechargeables. You're still at the same loss of 10 watts no matter what, even with rechargeables. But when you plug the AC power cord back in, it will actually recharge your rechargeable batteries while they're still in the amp, which is bonus. Okay. Now I also will say one other thing too with the wireless dongle. It recharges when you reinsert it back into the amp. So that's something where if you were running strictly batteries, you might be changing your batteries more often because you're only going to get so many charge cycles and that's it, and it will affect performance. So try and use the power supply when you're recharging the dongle. But you do get up to 10 hours of playtime out of the transmitter, so it's not that huge of a deal. Anyways, 5, it comes with a wireless dongle. You can also use a cable. There is an input jack on the top of the amp for running a cable input, which has some benefits to it. 1, well, you're recharging the wireless. Yay, you can still play your amp. Number 2, if you want to use a couple of external effects or a lot of external effects that you already have, this amp will take pedals really well. And you can intermix your pedals with the onboard effects, which is really bonus. The one thing you cannot do, though, is you cannot run an external pedal board, for example, or pedals, and still use the wireless at the same time as using them. Because, as you know, any pedal or pedal board processor has its own input jack source. And so we have a built-in receiver on this amp, so that's going to be a little bit different. So that's one thing to be aware of. But running a cable is not a big deal in a bedroom, I guess. I've run cables while my wireless is recharging, but otherwise I never run a cable when I play live. And certainly I'm not using this for playing live, although you could if you mic'd it up. Anyways, next, you can hook up a USB interface to this. Okay, so it has a USB port on the back. You connect it into your computer and use it as a interface and record into your favorite DAW program. Be it on Mac or PC, makes no difference whatsoever. As far as the Boss program goes, though, it's very easy to use, so that's next on our list. We're at number 7, which would be the interface. Runs on iOS, Apple devices, or Android. Now, I've heard a lot of complaints about Android users having nothing but buggy issues and problems and this and that, and I completely understand that. It's the Android world. It sucks, okay? I won't even buy an Android phone because they're always out of date, and Android devices are not well known for keeping their version of their operating system up to date. No matter what company makes it, it does not matter. Most of the Android devices you buy brand new right now, the operating system is already 2 or 3 levels behind. You know, some even further. So if you're thinking about picking up a cheap $50 tablet to run this program, I would probably advise against it, unless it's an Apple device, because there's really the stability issue on Android really does suck. Unless you are running the most current Android, then you're okay, at least until that goes obsolete. But with iOS, Apple always keeps their stuff up to date. Now you can run the program on an iPad or tablet for the Android users, or your phones, Android or iOS. I actually have the program even installed on my iPhone here. So, and it works great. I mean, on screen on a phone, it's a little on the tiny side, but I prefer the tablet, much bigger picture, much more control easier. Not a huge deal there. So, next on our list, easy to get artist patches, and make your own too. Simply going into the effects area here, right now we're on a distortion effect, so we're going to go edit. Now we start out, of course, with our booster area. Now I'm on the distortion because it's lit up in yellow right now. The other ones are kind of highlighted outside ring, but when you switch to them, it switches. Now you do have to manually switch this. This is one difference over the regular Katanas. You physically have to push the button to switch. But if you're on the blues driver and you want to switch it to another one on that specific setting, because you have 3 settings. There's also 6 memory banks in this thing too. Even though there's only 2 buttons by the panel button, there is actually 6 memory banks that you can do whatever you want to them. But even in this area too, in the panel, you can also manipulate your main panel bus line the way you want and save it to where you want as well. But here we've got boosters. Okay, these are metal pedals, natural, overdrive, crunch, clean boost, mid boost, all that jazz. So let's say we want to go to a tube screamer. Okay, so let's check our current sound. And I've got the dial set around 10 o'clock for the amount of level it's going to get. Alright, so we want to go Tube Screamer. Just click on it. Now I also have some delay and reverb turned on. Okay, but let's say we don't like that. Let's go to the metal zone. I love the metal zone. So it's instant. You hear it all through the amp. It's like, yes, I like that. But if you really don't like how the booster is turning out for you, you can actually manipulate the booster. Okay? So you just click on booster and you have 2 pages of controls that you can do whatever you want to this thing. So our drive is actually set at 62, our tone is at 0. That sort of thing. Now this is the default setup. Okay, we did not turn the knob, right? So when we change the effect, regardless where that knob is, it's going to give us what they set it at. So if I give this a little twitch, then I can control things more so. Okay? So 50% drive. Now you can do all this same stuff and manipulate stuff through the mod, the delay, the FX, the reverb, everything, you know. Change your effect level as well. So right now it's at 53. We want to give it 80. So we'll back that off. Now while we're in here, we can also go and manipulate other pedals too, but when we go back it will change it. So distortion. Distortion is the regular Boss distortion. So you can adjust the tone, the bottom end, whatever. Okay, it's very easy to use. And when you're done, you go up here and you click the right button, and then you assign it a name for that patch that you've created, and voila, you know, and give it a location where you want it to be. You don't have to keep it on the main panel. You can shove this somewhere else into one of the other 6 selections, okay? So it's kind of up to you where you want to do things. So very simple, easy program to use, okay? So that's another benefit to this as well. Next on our list, we're probably going to have more than 10 here. It's lightweight. I mean, the thing really doesn't weigh much at all. Virtually any human can carry this thing around, you know. It's not a big deal. So even kids could carry this around. It doesn't matter, with or without batteries. So it's very lightweight, which is nice. Now, the other thing is Bluetooth. It requires Bluetooth to connect to your Apple or Android device. That's obvious, okay? So it's all wireless. Now the other advantage too is you can also Bluetooth stream your backing tracks or whatever MP3 you want to play along with, have it play through the amp and you can play along at the same time. Okay? That's also another benefit. So jam with your favorite music. It also has an auxiliary jack too, so if you don't have a Bluetooth device, okay, because some people still don't for some reason, then you can plug in even an older, MP3 CD player or an older MP3 unit to get your stuff in that way through the auxiliary input. You can use the aux for other stuff too if you wanted. Depends on how creative you want to get. So these are the main reasons why I believe you should look at buying the Katana Air amp. It is fantastic. It is small. I wouldn't say it's 100% perfect, because I really hate that word, as a bedroom amp. But if you were to call it the perfect bedroom amp, that's what this would be. Okay, it has all your effects in there. It has stereo sound. It has 30 watts of power on AC, 20 watts of power otherwise. It's a nice little amp to just sit anywhere. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It does have a headphone record out jack. I have actually a special cable that I purchased for going with my microphone that I'm using. I'm using an H1 Zoom mic for a lot of my videos. Today it's just my camcorder. And so I can do free air recording that way. And it required a special cable to do that. The same cable actually works with my Katana Air, so I can unplug that mic, plug it into the headphone, record out. And of course, the sound that I'm getting here is going to definitely be fantastic going through that cable into my DAW. Okay? And I can further manipulate stuff any way I want with the limitations of the equipment that I have, right? And the DAW that I'm using. But then I can go into a mixer that way, and then my mixer goes into my computer, so then I can mix the amp with a drum machine. I have a Beat Buddy. So when I hook the Katana Air in via the record out, headphone record out jack into my mixer, my Beat Buddy's already in there, I can have everything go through, I can have it go through my main speakers for my PA that are in here, and then really rock down the house and have a lot of fun. So, yeah, it's a fantastic amp, very versatile, that's the big thing. I've had the Katana Mini, and although it's a pretty cute little amp, it's not something that I was really using. And I did actually purchase the Katana Air 2 years ago, and it went back because life happened, But the other day I went out to Long McQuaid, paid off a guitar, and while I was there, I picked this up. And for $5.79 Canadian, that is going to be the price. Now, this can make it or break it for a lot of you, but let me just tell you this. There is no amp out there on the market like the Katana Air. Nothing even comes close to the features, capabilities, the wireless already being with it and built in, all the effects that are there and how you can easily program these things. You can take this thing to the park with your electric guitar. You can go with your acoustic guitar even. You can plug your acoustic guitar in, so if you wanted to amplify an acoustic guitar more, you could actually do that because it does have an acoustic channel geared toward acoustic guitars, which is actually fantastic. I love that ability with this thing. Even my big Katana amp, my 100 watt 1x12 Mark II, has an acoustic preamp channel, and when you plug an acoustic in there, it sounds fantastic. So you don't need to buy an acoustic amp if you have the Katana Air or one of the other Katanas. With the exception of the Mini, it doesn't have an acoustic channel, but that's just the way it kind of goes. It's kind of a $150 amp, so we're only going to put so much into a $150 amp. Which is where I look at these other types of amps out there that are even half the price of the Katana Air, and they don't even do a tenth of what this thing can pull off. So for that reason, I think as far as the price goes, it is a little costly. $5.79, my big Katana amp, which probably not a suitable bedroom amp, but it was only $500. This costs more, and it's smaller, it has less wattage, but you got to look at the form factor and what it does in comparison. You're not going to run a big Katana amp off a couple AA batteries, are you? No. Of course not. You definitely don't need 100 watts in the bedroom, that's for darn sure. 30, 40 watts, 20 watts, that's a lot of power for a bedroom, and you can control it. Now the other thing too is it retains its sound, which is nice. So if you drop the volume level itself, it'll retain its tone like the other Katana amps do. So you're not losing out, where other amps out there on the market, you start messing with that volume control, you are going to degrade your tone. So your sound quality of your patches or effects or whatever goes to the toilet. With these amps it doesn't. It retains it. So, that's also yet another benefit to any of the Katana amps, period. But, it is a great amp. And you can download patches that are pre-made from your favorite artist and throw them into this thing, that sort of thing. There's also a built-in tuner, which is kind of cool. So if you want to check the tuning on your guitar, that's not bad. Now with the tuner too, you notice they have pitch. You have many different tuning frequencies in which you can do, especially for drop tuning. So if you know the frequency that drop D uses, for example, which you can easily Google that, then you can switch it over to this, tune your guitar, and you're going right into drop D without a hassle. Or whatever other tuning mode you want that's covered within the pitch ranges. Okay? So that's yet again another benefit to this thing. So then you got your librarian area. You create live sets as well in here. So yes, you can use this live, but you would have to mic it up. Okay, I mean, even though it's 20 to 30 watts, it is coming through a couple of little speakers, and it's only so big of a cabinet, but you can mic it up without any difficulty whatsoever, and you can rock this thing on stage, at least in probably like church or smaller coffee shops, that sort of thing. I wouldn't suggest trying to play this at an AC/DC concert and micing it up, because I really don't think that's going to work for you. There are limits to everything, but you can actually do up your sets, and you can have your sets saved in there, which leaves you a whole lot of more effects that are capable above and beyond. So you have your main user sets where, that's quick, easy access. You already know them on your cheat sheet, but then you can also go to one of your programmed libraries and say, okay, I want to do this. Okay, this is my live set for this stuff. And then you'll know all those controls. Print out your cheat sheets. I do. So fantastic. That's what I got for you guys today on this. Do stay tuned though. I'm going to eventually do a full tutorial. I do not know when, so just don't ask, when are you going to do it, Kev? Because I have no clue, okay? But I will eventually do a full tutorial, start to finish. Let's power on the amp. Let's show you how to bind everything with the Bluetooth thing. Let's go through our settings. Let's save some patches, all this other stuff. Eventually that will happen. Whether or not I start downloading artist patches or not, I have no idea. I don't really have any favorites out there, but, well, I got a couple that I like, but I don't know if they're going to be on the list or not, so we'll have to see what happens there. But if they're not on the list, well, I guess I have some homework to do to find out what kind of effects they use, and then I can do something up like that and make it part of my library collection. But in the meantime, guys, I thank you so much for being patient watching this video. Hope you learned lots from this. And you know what? If there's a such thing, if there is actually such thing as the perfect bedroom amp, this is definitely going to be the one to go with. And also, like I said, use it outdoors. I mean, I rebought it too because I want to play outdoors in the summer this year. I don't want to lug around a 50-pound amp. This is ridiculous. Just to go at my front deck. I'd rather take this thing, plug it into my wall socket or run some batteries, and away I go, you know. Same thing with other stuff. If we ever get rid of these lockdowns and stuff, and our jammer groups can get back together, then I could actually take my electric guitar and this amp with me. So portable. I tried it with a Katana Mini once, and it worked out all right with the Mini and the SG. But this is so much more fun, and I can do so much more creativity stuff with it that the Mini just can't do. But anyways, that's it. That's all. See ya!